is what Sarah Tacola calls a state of emergency speech, a list of demands to the University of Washington. The 22-year-old senior will be graduating soon, but Sarah and her peers use words like shackled and imprisoned to describe what they call the effects of systematic racism. And it will take more than a degree, they believe, to set them free.
It's not just police brutality that we're dealing with. We've been dealing with all of these issues, with issues of access, with issues of redline communities, and we're still stuck in those same segregated communities without access to the same opportunities.
It was the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson and the non-indictment of the officer who shot him that unleashed a wave of anger and activism across the nation and here in Seattle.
So they're calling this the youth movement. Would you call it the youth movement?
I definitely see that it's youth-led, and I hope that, we always take into account the wisdom from our elders. But yes, I think it's youth-led because I have so many of, my elders a lot of times telling us, to be quiet and don't, make a rush. And these are things that we grew up with, and we have it better. But it's not. It might be better from 100 years ago, but it's still not. It's still not equal.
A few miles away at Garfield High School, members of the Black Student Union also began to mobilize. For years, the BSU lied dormant. But on October 22nd, the National Day of Protest, the Black Lives Matter hashtag became their movement.
That day, it was raining. As we were chanting the different things that we were chanting, Black Lives Matter, I felt like that was empowering in that moment because you had youth around your age surrounding you and showing you that Black lives do matter, and not only do Black lives matter, but the youth's voices matter and our voices matter.
But marching in the streets is only a part of it.
Because we know protect and serve does not apply to us.
Alyssa and other BSU members are expanding their reach. Most recently, they sat down for 2 hours with the top brass of the Seattle Police Department.
We got the chance to kind of guide the conversation, and it gave me some insight on how much they know about their actions and the repercussions of what they do.
Although we did speak to them earlier this year, we are keeping an eye on them and the promises they made within the meetings.
Do you feel like there's power in your voice?
Absolutely. I think if there wasn't power in my voice, people wouldn't be trying to shut it down all the time.
But with this new breath of activism comes some difficult lessons.
We're out here kind of trying to convince people of the value of our lives. Meanwhile, I'm a 17-year-old girl just trying to get through high school while I have to worry about the lives of all of my friends, all of my family, because our country doesn't want to take a look at itself and recognize the fact that it needs to change some things.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
I don't want to say there's anything different about our generation, but I can say from the people in this room that I know that there's, as much as there is belief in that we can make a change, there's also an anger behind it that keeps it persistent, that keeps it coming. To say that we're not just gonna let here face down as you shoot us. You're gonna have to, I'm getting a little emotional, but yeah, this isn't something you can just do to us. We're gonna tell you that it's wrong, and we're gonna make sure you change it.
The advisor of Garfield's Black Student Union thinks it is quite possible that we are at the beginning of a major youth-led movement, much like the civil rights movement of the 60s. UW law student Nikita Oliver calls it an awakening.
It's our voice. It's about young folks, students, standing up and recognizing that we don't have to be complicit, we don't have to accept the system as it is, that we do have power, we do have knowledge, but it's a matter of us really stepping up and leading that change and using our voices to do that.